Well, I'm grateful to be able to address a subject that I know can be very challenging and there's multiple opinions about it, and I offer my feedback to support you again as being the one that knows what's best for your child. And that's this experience that we're finding is grown in large numbers over the last decade, especially from my observation, is that children are being diagnosed with autism. So I'm not discounting the fact that that diagnostic label has really that gives a recognition of a condition of a child where it doesn't look the same as a child that's developing by the standard developmental references that we have. So I want to speak to that first, that we have for many, many years created a sort of standard developmental, the way a child develops, that it in large numbers looks a certain way, that the majority of children have a developmental experience that looks the same. By the time they're this old, they should be doing this. They're large and small and large motor skills and how they develop. And so in any condition that we've given a diagnostic label to, first of all, there's a variation of what has been the norm or the standard in the developmental experience. So that concerns a parent and gets their attention. My child's 3 years old and they're not speaking still. My child, is not able to, they're repetitive in behavior. They're socially, they're much more introverted in their energy. And those are just minor examples. I know autism has a wide range of children's sort of experience with autism, so that there's the minor to the more major expression of it. What I want to support you with is looking beyond that label and not getting enrolled in that is who your child is, that your child is a unique human being. Your child is first and foremost their own individual self. You don't want to have any label, regardless of what it is, to now become your child's identity. That your child needs to have its own unique identity first, that being your beautiful, wonderful child that has a certain experience in life that you're now learning to deal with as a parent. And so don't again, where are you at with that? Check in with yourself to make sure, how do you introduce your child that way? Does it precede them wherever they go? Are they being now put into this point, this reference that people that have a certain opinion or perception of your child? What's your perception of your child that you have identified with this now? In every case that I've also witnessed this and observed it over the 10 years I've been developing energy profiling, going on 11, I've only seen that children that, of the 4 types, it is always the most, this diagnostic label is the most commonly a type 4 child, the more serious child. And you'll notice when you read the Child Whisperer book, there's the behaviors that are noted as their natural tendencies are playing out in more extreme expressions. So could it possibly be that your child is a type 4 child with an extreme expression of their nature, and different things have influenced an imbalance that can be corrected, and so that they come into more balance with their true nature? Again, questions to ask yourself. Another really valuable tip that I learned early on as a parent with different conditions going on with my children, that it was really important that I not give the authority of who had the most say of what was correct for my child to the medical person, some expert. I'm including myself in that. Don't give me that power. I'm here to empower you. That you have first and foremost the right to be inspired in behalf of your child, to know how to lead whatever is showing up. In this case, if you're dealing with autism, that you are the point person for that. You are the one that's receiving the insight, the direction. Do not give that away. You are meant to be guided in your role as your child's parent. There's no accidents here. Everything's playing out in perfect timing and support, and that you will be given what you need at the time you need it. And maybe you just have to change your expectations around that, or change some perceptions to see some things different, to create that space of allowing. So if you've given that power away, take it back. It's a simple act of saying, I now choose to be in that position of power, and to be led, and to be inspired, and to be guided in behalf of my child as their parent. And that's your rightful position. And so learn about that. I get asked frequently about conditions for children, and does that override or kind of take them out of the energy profiling grouping? It's like, no, every child is first and foremost has an innate nature that identify in the 4 types. They come with that. It's just an imbalance playing out of some kind, or maybe it's not even imbalance. Maybe that's just how they operate as a human being. Again, we have a comparative reference that says this is how it should look. It looks different. There's something wrong. Maybe there is nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? There's some adjustments we can create in our own mind, in our perception of things, and say, what's correct for my child? And they're finding there's a lot of things that influence those imbalances. The neurological function of a child is different for each of the 4 types. I've found great success working with a company called TrueHope.com that can lend support, again, to aid you in supplementation that will help bring to balance any tendency for imbalances neurologically. I've personally used it and had great results from it, but they do help children that have been labeled with ADHD, hyperactivity, autism. They have a background in giving you support in that. So check them out, and you can find the link in the copy. So what have you learned? Are you dealing with this in your life? What has been an opportunity for this to help you become a better parent? How has the Child Whisperer helped you see your child differently, to support them in a way that allows you to see the child first, and not your perception of a condition or what you think they should look like? So love to hear from you. Again, I'm a child whispering expert. I'm an expert in energy profiling, and I share my feedback from that perspective. I am not an expert in autism, and I can share my expertise referencing your experience with that, and help. My intention is to support you in making it a positive experience for you and your family. Thanks for watching.